All right, so we are live with Trevor Gundaker, who is at the Dome, the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Starting tomorrow night is the first preliminary night. Um, we're just going to wait a couple of minutes for some people to join, but in the meantime, Trevor, what's your weekend looking like? And first of all, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. It's always fun to do these types of interviews and podcasts, and it's always nice intertwining with media. I mean, every chance you can get to get your name out there is about as good as you can get it. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, well, we had Gordy on, so you got some big shoes to fill here. So yeah, we had him on a couple months ago. So
Yeah, but yeah, no. To answer your question, yeah, we our prelim night starts tomorrow night, and we got ourselves a pretty stacked group here, but it's no worries against us. I feel like all we do is race against stacked group nowadays. So I
yeah,
mean, we got ourselves a good pill draw. We drew 17 today, so that'll put us out pretty early in Group A. So that'll really help our scenario for the weekend. And now it's all up to the guy behind the wheel to figure it out.
Now, between you and your brother Gordy, are both of you guys separate prelim nights, or are you guys on the same tomorrow night, Thursday?
Yeah, so I'm Thursday, he's Friday, luckily. So we kind of, thankfully for that, because I don't think we could string our crew guys out enough to have us race on both days at the Dome. And there's a lot of hammers and sheet metal getting thrown around all night, and I don't. Yeah, it would not be a good thing for us to race both nights or have us on the same night.
what's the vibe like there the night before? One of the coolest events of the year. Like I wasn't around dirt late model racing a lot up here in Canada. It's just we have sprint cars and modifieds. So I didn't really know about this event until probably got my Flow subscription like a year or two ago, and now it's one of the can't miss events of the
Oh yeah.
year. So the night before, what's going on there at the Dome?
Yeah, so funny you say that. Everybody knows it's move-in day right now, and all the vendors are setting up their T-shirt booths and getting everything organized for the crowds that are supposed to come flying in this weekend. And it was kind of funny you say that because we were just talking about that, and I told them, I said, it's kind of like an eerie feeling right now because I'm like, I grew up in St. Louis. I was like, we always used to come here and watch the Rams play and all that, and now I'm sitting here in a seat with looking at nobody and looking at a dirt track on the floor right now. And it's like, if you'd have told me this 10 years ago or 7 or 8, I don't even know how many years we've had it now. It's 2016. I get 10 years now. But if you'd have told me 10 years ago when I was 11 that we were going to be racing inside the Dome where guys like Marshall Falk and Kurt Warner played, I'd have told you off, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, it's a very eerie feeling knowing that right now I'm occupying one seat that come Saturday, 40 or 50,000 people will be here, and sitting here by myself basically.
Yeah. Speaking
Yeah,
of the,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, speaking of the track in front of you, a couple of years ago the track was actually a lot wider, different size, and now they've condensed. I know Cody Summers really been involved with making sure the track's all prepped and ready to go. Would you rather see the track that it is now, or have it really widened out like it was a couple of years ago?
Yeah, see, we talked about that too. It's like my dad helps build the track, and he's got all the blueprints for everything from 2016 to now. He's got dimensions from straightaway to straightaway, from wall to wall, how long, how wide, everything. And we were talking about it, and he was kind of saying that you kind of did see it, and I think it was 2018 when they tried to widen the straightaways out, and it kind of created too big of a circle effect to where you ran more of a momentum line to where you circled more, to where this is more like bouldering type action, to where you're not really like you're literally you're straight on the straightaways for 10, 15 foot maybe, but you're still turning at all points. So it doesn't have that, like I said, like that super circle effect like them couple years had. It's still got that pointness to it, to where you can still get your momentum, but not race in a big circle and have it either one lane dominant or everybody follow each other on the bottom, which is what you saw when they tried to widen it out in a couple of years.
So I won't ask you to flip your camera settings or anything, but can you just turn your phone around to face the track so we can have a look at?
Yeah, so
these...
I'm sitting here off turn 3, I guess it would be now, and turn 4, because there's the flag stand right there, that little guy. Yeah, so I'm sitting here off turn 4, and like I said, they got it looking really good. It's they had the 2-seater out there earlier, and yeah, like look, there ain't nobody here. There's my crew guy Robert, but literally there's nobody here. There's a couple people in the infield. Well, there was, but nobody's here. And come Saturday, there'll be 30,000-40,000 people here. So it's, like I said, it's one of them eerie feelings type of deal.
And what is the actual dimension like of the track? Like,
you know, I never asked Dad that, if I'm being honest, but if I tried to tell you a number, I would be lying to you right now. But it's give or take, it's looking at it, it's probably 4.5, 5 car length. If you were to stack late models right next to each other, about 5 cars wide, and so you could give or take, it's so our rule is 82 inches across our back quarter panel. You take 82 times 5, and that's 156. So it's probably right around like 160-ish, right around there, I would say. So yeah, somewhere, I guess, yeah, probably right around there. It's probably, like I said, it's probably 5, 6 late models wide. I think, maybe, I don't know. I haven't been on the racetrack in 12 months, so I can't really tell you. But you can race around here 3 wide and be respectful, so that's the only thing that matters.
Is there anything different you have to do to set up the car to race on a track like that small and flat and everything else?
So luckily, being from Missouri, Illinois area, is we do have bull rings like this. So we have our Farmer City, we have our Fairbury, we have our Macon, we have our Lincoln, we have those types of bull rings. So for us, it's just another race for us. Like guys down south that run, or guys up north that run a lot of 3/8, a lot of half miles, a lot of 4/10 miles, I would say it's a pretty drastic change for them, because they do come down and run on our bull rings for like Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws and Summer National Tours, and you will see that they do tend to struggle sometimes. But most of the guys that are here that do run those types of racetracks have good feedback from other house car drivers or team owners. So it's a pretty fair matchup, but I would say the Illinois boys do have a good notebook coming into these type of events, because just like I said, we have seen everything from quarter miles to 3/8 miles to half miles to 5/8 miles. We've seen everything within 4 hours of the house. So it's nothing too crazy for us.
And not only with the late models, you know, you guys have the UMP modifieds running as well, and that's a show in itself. Obviously, you got, you know, the hometown hero Kenny Wallace is going to be going absolutely nuts. I know the last couple of years he's, you know, won some heat races and he's up on the top of a deck lid doing the disc, just going absolutely nuts for the crowd. Just talk about the scenery, because a lot of people haven't been to this event, and it's something to see like for itself in person. It's not, you know, we can only watch on Flow Racing, but being there is a whole different story.
Yeah, so it's definitely like not taking anything away from anybody here. I mean, we have 140, I think, late models or something like that, which is despicable. First of all, there's no other car count, no World, no Knoxville Nationals that pull anything near that. And well, the Dream gets 100, but yeah, I mean, between them, I mean, every time we get done, we go watch the modifieds, because it's 75% of the time they race better than us. And it's like they go out there and they slip and slide around more than we do, and it makes their racing 10 times better. And then you have, I think they invited, what was it, 50, 60 modifieds or something like that. Then you have guys from everywhere. You have guys like Dave Hess that races out east, and then you have guys like Troutman and Harrison and Long and Bollinger and McKinney, and I mean, you've got everybody from far north to far south, you got guys like Jim Chisholm that just had a very successful year on the USMTS tour. And it's like, you have 4 heat races a night with the modifieds and 10 cars a heat, or 8 cars a heat race, and all 8 of them have career accomplishments in A-mod racing. And it's like, you don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to be up front. You don't know who's going to come home with the 10 grand at the end of the weekend. And it's one of those deals where it's always fun to watch them because, like I said, you have no clue what they're going to do. And you never see those 60 guys on the same racetrack at once besides at the Dome.
All right, let's talk about your wrap for the weekend. I'm gonna pull up a picture here real quick, and while I'm doing that, you can maybe talk about where you got the idea from, and who designed it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like I said, anybody that is my crew guys to my friends to people around the pit area know I always listen solely to old school rap music. Like, we're 90s, early 2000s, late 80s rap music 24/7 while we're racing. So you see guys like Eazy-E and Ice Cube and all those guys talk about riding around in 6.4 Impalas, and there ain't nothing cooler than a candy red 6.4 Impala with white walls on it, let me tell you, especially for a guy like me that does like that type of rap music. So it was a design we came up with, give or take 3 months ago, I think it was, when we were just kind of sitting there. I was trying to come up with some just ideas for the Dome, because you do a special wrap every year for the Dome because it gets debuted in front of so many people. And came up with that. I was like, we should do a 6.4 Impala and like do a candy red, like classic old school. Like, I think it'd be awesome. And I got with my guys over at Ray's Wraps, Big Kev, and luckily he was able to make it come to life.
And that's going to be cool, actually, seeing that thing bounce on the track. It's going to have the hydraulics on it. It's going to. Yeah.
Hold on. Can you all hear me right now?
Yeah, we got you.
Are the white walls staying on it?
Yeah, so they are. I did hand paint all the white walls, and I don't know how long they're going to make it, but they're at least going to make it for hot laps. That's the only thing that matters. I know. Hopefully the left side will stay on, because usually that's the picture side. The right side's probably won't stay on. I'm not going to bite my tongue on that, but they're going to stay on as long as they can. But it's like I said, it's going to be for show, and it's going to be for hot laps. After that, it's going to be full bore after that.
Yeah, speaking of wraps, obviously your brother Gordy just came out with his throwing it back to Tim Richmond, which I thought was pretty cool. Just talk about all the unique wraps that all the guys do for the Dome. It's pretty cool. You got holiday theme with Christmas, and then some are just absolutely just cartoonish or just for fun. Talk about all the thought and idea that goes into the type of designs for the Dome.
Yeah, it's it gets people's creative genes rolling really. Like it you see, like, you'll walk through the Perry Saturday, and like as you said, you'll see everything from Christmas wraps to, I mean, God, everything. Like, I don't even know like what genres to put them in half the time, but like it's cool seeing what people can come up with sometimes, because it's like throughout the year you have your just standard wraps that want to debut your sponsors, and it's like you don't really want to get too creative. I mean, you do, but you don't want to have anything too crazy that's too busy. But luckily, like, you can come to a place like here and you can do whatever you want. Like, you can, like mine. I mean, last time I've never seen anybody with white walls on a race car before, if I'm being honest. But like, then you got guys like JD that have his Dirty Dollar Ranch wrap, and it's pretty neat. It's then like Gordy's wrap is Tim Richmond wrap. Like, it's just that type of deal where like you can come here and make T-shirts and hoodies and crew necks and be able to sell the living crap out of them and have it for one weekend. And it's just one of those deals where it's like it's a perfect time to do it because there's no racing going on and everybody's watching the Dome and everybody's here, and you're going to be debuted to, I think they said 10 plus countries and almost every state. And it's just having one of those type of wraps that people stand out and be like, wow, like check that thing out. I wonder who that is. And like, they'll look at your name, then they'll follow you on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. And it's just one of those rollover deals to where like, oh, like that's pretty cool. Like I'll go buy their t-shirt, and t-shirts get us up and down the road half the time. So it's nice being able to have your creative genes once in a great while and see how everybody just kind of figures everything out.
So if you win this weekend, the White Walls coming back next year, like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of them deals where you kind of just hanging up in the rafters. Like you go ahead and take one of your tires and cut the sidewall off of it. And you take the body panel and hang it up in the shop, and you never bring it back out ever again because you don't want to do any disgrace to it.
You'll be seeing a lot of drivers showing up with White Walls next year if you win with that. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's one of them deals where it's like I said, it's one of them deals where it's a lot of the old generations love it because that's what they grew up around. They grew up around them Impalas and them Chargers and all that, and those old school Dodges, and it's like the old generations grew up around it, and it's kind of giving them flashbacks to when they were young 40 or 50 60 years ago. And it's just like it's cool having that because my dad was the same way. He grew up in that era, and when I showed him the wrap, he thought it was the coolest thing he'd ever seen in his life.
So, Trevor, if you were a race fan this weekend and you're obviously sitting there in the arena right now, where would you tell our viewers that may be going to the Dome this weekend to sit and get the best view?
Yeah, man, it's luckily we are spectators. I'm a spectator on Friday mostly. I mean, I'll be up and down helping Gordy, but I will be running back and forth from the merch tent and coming up here and watch. But really, if I'm being honest, I don't think there's a bad seat in this place. I mean, we've watched from turn 1, we've watched from turn 4, we watched on the back stretch, we watched on the front stretch, and everywhere you look, it's pure chaos. And it just, like I said, there's no bad seat in this place. Like if you find a seat, I mean, luckily, if you do find a seat, because I'm pretty sure it's sold out months ago or weeks ago, if anything, then they've had to start opening the upper concourse like all the way up around here for Saturday just because there's so many people that want to come see this show. But like, even if you're up here, you're all the way down in the front row. If you're standing on the floor, there's no bad seat. And hell, half the time when I'm on the dome floor with the race car, you watch the big screen and you sit there and get chills and you watch it too, and you think you're a race fan, but then you realize you're up in a race, so you kind of got to get zoned back in.
What's the vibe like in St. Louis? Like, you're from the area, you've seen this thing kind of grow over the years, and I imagine there's a lot of people that they don't get to another car race,
Right.
at any point throughout the year. Like you said, unfortunately, the Rams aren't there. It's if you live downtown St. Louis, you want to check it out. You must, or your fellow competitors must talk to people that like it's their first time ever seeing dirt late models. So yeah, talk about what that does, what the vibe is like in St. Louis itself, and how excited they get for this event.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's like I said, we live 35 minutes from here, and guys like us and Nick and guys that are from around here and that race locally too are awesome to have such an event, because we really, I mean, besides a couple events here and there, we really don't have anything of this prestige in this area. But like I said, it's crazy because like it's surreal that's a good word for it. It's surreal for like people from St. Louis to see this type of event and see this dome. Like, I mean, seeing this dome packed come Saturday and it being represented in St. Louis and seeing how many people are in downtown or out at the bars or in the hotels. Like, you go out at night and everywhere's packed, and it's just good for like the economy, and it's good for the city of St. Louis to be able to have that type of revenue every year.
And we wanted to take a moment for our viewers to go over and to the top corner, you can scan the QR code and you check out Trevor Gundaker's merchandise. Obviously, you're going to have, you and Gordy are going to have some really cool merchandise for the Dome with all the themes on it.
I'll go show you guys that real quick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
So
if you are going to the Dome, Trevor, also let us know or let the viewers know where your merch is going to be.
Yeah, perfect. Here, I'll show you right now. My little legs are going so fast. So we're here at 111.
Yep.
Right at the 50-yard line, right there. And our tent is right here. We're still missing. We're still getting shirts in, so it's a little bare right now. But come tomorrow afternoonish, we'll be full tilt up here. We'll have shirts, hoodies, crew necks. We'll have pullbacks, trucks and trailers, mini doors, stickers, everything you can think of, we'll have up here. So come up to section 111 at the 50-yard line, like I said, and you'll be able to find all my merchandise and all Gordy's, and hopefully we'll be able to sell a lot this weekend.
Getting a little bit of FOMO. How about you, Jacob?
So I'm actually intrigued, Trevor, since you grew up in St. Charles, and I visited St. Louis multiple times and had a good old time hanging out. There's this big debate on the food in St. Louis, and obviously it's not most known for pizza, but Nick Hoffman earlier on Flow Racing threw out a little hint on where to get the best pizza, but I don't think it's the best pizza. I think that Dewey's Pizza is the best in St. Louis. So what do you think?
It's a toss-up. I mean, there's a lot of good pizza in St. Louis. I mean, between, like you said, Dewey's, and you go to Emo's, and out by us, we have places like Cecil Whitaker's and all that. And here, I think personally, a good, like, I don't know really what they call it, but like a flat pizza, no crust, I think is superior pizza. That's just me personally. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just coming from St. Louis and being around Emo's and having that type of pizza, but having just that, like I said, that flat pizza is top notch. Like I don't think you can go anywhere else and have a better pizza.
I live within driving distance of Chicago and Detroit, and I know people that would just be flipping out listening to you guys talk about St. Louis pizza being the best.
That's a war by itself between East Coast, West Coast, and Midwest pizza. Yeah, you could start another civil war between the states just arguing over that.
And Jacob, should we get to the rapid fire then?
Yeah, Trevor. So usually on every podcast, we did the same thing with your brother and Gordy. We have a rapid fire segment presented by DJ D Gear. We just ask you 10 random questions at you, and you just come up with the first question. So whenever you're ready, I'll fire them off to you.
Hit me.
All right. So the first question is, would you rather win the Gateway Dirt Nationals or the Prairie Dirt Classic?
Oh, man. Gateway. I'm telling you, it's just there's something about the hometown feeling, and it's one of those events that's only been around for so long, and I definitely Gateway. Sorry, Matt Curl, but Gateway.
And personally, my favorite place is PBR, St. Louis, in downtown, right by the Cardinal Stadium. But what's your favorite place to hang out in downtown St. Louis?
Well, unfortunately, what sucked last year is I turned 21 on the Tuesday after the Dome, so I wasn't legal to go anywhere. But mostly for everybody, it's Ballpark Village. That's a nice little. We went down there a couple of times this year with watching the Cardinals games and all that. And Ballpark Village, like you said, PBR. There's a lot of people that go to PBR. Those are probably your two main spots that are your good hangout spots if you were going to be in downtown.
And who is your favorite Cardinals player? Could be current or all time.
Oh man. Oh, favorite Cardinals player. Man, you put me in a tight spot there. That's messed up. I would say Yachty's definitely good because he stayed with the Cardinals and wrote it out, him and Waino. But I would say Yachty. Yachty's a really good one.
Quote of line from your favorite racing movie.
Oh man. I would say Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder is a top tier racing movie. That and Talladega Nights and Six Pack, I think are your top three racing movies. But when he says, I'm probably gonna misquote this unfortunately, but when he pulls into the pit and he jumps in the window and he says something around the lines of, "I want you to go out there and hit the pace car." Then he's like, why? And he's like, well, you've hit everything else on a racetrack today. Yeah, that's because they do tend to quote that to me around the shop a lot, which is not very nice. But definitely, that's definitely the one I hear the most, and that's probably one of the good ones.
And who gave you the nickname T-Rev?
I don't know, man. I don't know who really gave me, and I think it just kind of because naturally my name's Trevor, but everybody either calls me T-Rev or Trev just because it's shorter and it's simpler and it's a lot snappier too. So if I'm either in trouble, I can get called that a lot faster. But yeah, so God, it's like I said, it's hard to tell because everybody calls me Trevor T-Rev. So.
And outside of racing, I know we talked to your brother about this, but what's your best score of golf? I know you guys like to golf.
Best score of golf. Oh God. Man. We went and
Is it
played.
lower than the section number that your merch is at?
No, it's some days I'm that bad, but I'm not that bad usually. I think we went and played a course over by mom and dad's racetrack over by Tri-City, and I think I shot an 80. I think is what it was if I remember right. It was 8. I think it was 8 plus 8, and I think it was a par 72. So I think it was a plus 8. But let me tell you that does not correlate anything to what I usually shoot. I usually shoot like high 80s, low 90s, but like for some reason that day I just had my entire woods out.
And this is kind of a trick question, but who's the favorite brother in the gun?
Man, it depends what day it is. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the problem there. It depends on what day it is, who you talk to. Yeah, it like I said, it's tough because some days it's me, some days it's Gordy, and it's just I'd like to say it's me just because I'm the youngest, but it's kind of hard to tell.
And unfortunately, lost another regional series recently. So, what was the most memorable moment that you had from the MLRA series?
Yeah, so 2 years ago at the end of October, I won my first 5,000, my first big rate, my first big show with MLRA, and it was a 5,000, and it wasn't even in my car; it was in a borrowed car too, and it was at mom and dad's racetrack. Naturally, I mean, but yeah, that was definitely my most memorable one. Then we've had a couple good runs here and there with them, and a couple good points finishes too. So it's very, like you said, it's very unfortunate to see that type of series go under because it's very, very well run by some great people.
All right, the last two questions here are pretty tough, so be careful how you answer them. So, would you wreck your brother Gordy for the win?
Yes, I'd wreck anybody. Great. Nobody is safe on the racetrack if we're coming to the checkered flag. I don't care who it is. Yeah, there's some. I don't care who I make mad. Is all I know is if that big check has my name on it and has 30,000 on it, that's all I'm going to remember in 10 years.
And last question for you, Trevor. If you were to win the National this weekend, how would you celebrate?
Man, if anybody knows our team, if we do win or run good, we go full tilt. I mean, we probably might stay in the city of St. Louis for a week or two because it's like I said, it's just one of those deals where it's hometown, and if you're going to do it, you might as well burn it down. So so it would be pretty it'd be pretty big. I don't think anybody would be going to work to next week. So,
do you have your driver intro planned out?
Man, it's so hard because, like Kenny Wall said one year, he's like, you don't want to get too cocky till you get to Saturday. You don't want to put anything out, but it's I've thrown around some ideas to myself that could be a little old school, but like I said, I don't care about the driver intro. I just want to be in that race. I just want to have a shot at the 20 or 22 car starting field and be able to race that Saturday night feature in front of all these people.
Yeah, for sure. And we really appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy guy, and really cool to see kind of the behind the scenes of what's going on. It's a really cool event. Like we talked about, gets bigger every year, and so many cool things to check out down there. So if you're lucky enough to have gotten tickets for Saturday, please enjoy and have a few cold ones for Jacob and I, because I'll be watching from the couch having some cold ones, cheering you on. So.
That's good. Yeah, that's probably about the safest place to be. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is you have a couple cold ones down here, then it turns into you going out, then
Well,
you're seeing the sunrise the next day, then you're really regretting it. So yeah, the safest place is probably the couch.
Well, I haven't partied with the Gundakers yet, so maybe next year you can show me a good time in St. Louis, because I'm up for it, man. Let's go.
Yeah, you definitely be welcome to St. Louis pretty hard. You probably would never want to come back. Yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Thanks again for doing this. Really